Amina had everything she could possibly desire. She lived in a grand mansion on the outskirts of the city, surrounded by lush gardens and a life of unimaginable luxury. Her husband, Yusuf, was one of the wealthiest men in the country. He was one of the most powerful men in the land. He had given her diamonds, designer clothes, and extravagant trips. On the outside, her life was the epitome of perfection. But behind the walls of her gilded cage, Amina was suffering. She was silently suffering, longing for something more. Something that no amount of wealth could ever provide. For years, Amina tried to convince herself she should be content. After all, she had everything most women could only dream of. Yet, the deeper she delved into her heart, she realized something was missing. She wanted more than just jewels and luxury. She wanted love, connection, and meaning. But those things weren't something you could buy in a store. It wasn't the diamond necklaces that mattered to her anymore. Nor was it the expensive cars. It was the love that she longed for. The real, deep connection that she lacked. Yusuf, though a good man, was consumed by his work. He was always busy, always in meetings, always rushing from one place to the next. He showered Amina with gifts, but hardly ever spent time with her. His idea of showing love was buying her more things. Yet, no matter how many presents he gave, her heart remained empty. She would stand in front of her grand mirror, admiring the luxurious gowns and sparkling jewels. But the reflection staring back was one of loneliness. Her soul cried out for something deeper, but she couldn't bring herself to speak it aloud. Amina's suffering was quiet, almost invisible to those around her. Who would believe a wealthy woman could be unhappy? But the silence of her heart echoed louder each day. She would go to lavish events and sit in grand rooms. She would entertain guests with a smile. But inside, she felt like she was suffocating. The more time passed, the more she realized. No amount of wealth could replace a real connection, especially the connection she needed with her husband. One evening, after another lonely dinner, Amina met her friend Zara. Zara was the type of woman to speak her mind. They sat at a quiet cafe. Zara looked at her with concern. Zara asked, "Amina, do you feel fulfilled or are you just surviving in luxury?" The question hit Amina like a thunderbolt. She had never allowed herself to face the truth. But in that quiet moment, she realized Zara was right. She was surviving, not living. She was in a bubble of grandeur, but her heart was starving. It wasn't about the material things anymore. It was about love, connection, and purpose. Amina spent the following days in deep reflection. She began to see her life differently. Her wealth and even her marriage no longer held the same value. She realized how much she had sacrificed for appearances. She had sacrificed her own peace of mind. Her mind raced with questions. Could she leave it all behind? Could she walk away from the security of her wealth? Continuing her life as it was became unbearable. The silent suffering had reached its breaking point. Amina knew she had to make a choice. She decided. She would leave. She gathered her belongings and left a note for Yusuf. Walking out of that mansion was an act of liberation. Amina was finally choosing herself. She walked into the unknown with a sense of hope. Amina arrived at a small village far from the city. Here, she began to discover what true wealth meant. She worked with the villagers, listening to their stories. For the first time, she felt like she was part of something real. Her heart began to heal. The illusion of wealth was gone. Back in the city, Yusuf realized his life was empty without her. Amina had changed. She no longer needed his riches. She became a beacon of hope for others. For the greatest wealth is found in the richness of the heart.